The right to praise singing me song. I'm gonna turn a ring.
Hey there, Ma. Hey there, Pop. Pile in the car, let's make a stop. The stars are out, the screen is bright. Let's go to the drive-in tonight. Face, grab your blanket and your favorite seat. Kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Cartoons start, the kids all cheer. Family fun is waiting here. Hot dog sizzling and sodas pop. Milkshakes thick and lollipops. From tots to teens and mom and dad. It's the best old time we've ever had. Under the moon in our own little rose.
Night at the Drive-In. This is your host, TJ. We are attempting to bring back that nostalgic feeling, one story at a time, as we take you to a simpler era when we gathered around a radio and heard our stories, and this gave us the freedom to visualize them in our minds. With each episode, we'll present either an original audio tale or a classic drive-in style film, all adapted in an audio presentation and presented in PG format that will help spark the imagination of all family members gathered around to listen. We've also included vintage previews, old school intermission ads, and more, all to make you feel like you're really there, parked on that gravel lot with either that drive-in speaker or your old transistor radio. If you got a story about a drive-in that you remember that no longer exists, or maybe one that is still lighting up the night sky tonight, we'd love to hear those personal stories. You can reach out to us at undergroundartistnetwork@outlook.com. Go ahead and grab a blanket, pop some popcorn, get comfortable, because although the screen might be silent, your story is still about to begin. This is Night at the Drive-In.
Show starts in 10 minutes.
What is it?
Say,
What is it?
hey, why it's Buttercup. Popcorn, add sweet cream butter to hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight.
It's so munchy,
Crisp and crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite. Eat butter-drenched Buttercup, popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
Show starts in 9 minutes.
Here's a new taste treat. The corn dog. Plump, juicy wieners are dipped in a thick, golden southern-style corn batter that seals in all their freshness and flavor. If you like hot dogs, you'll love corn dogs. Everybody does. Try a corn dog with your favorite beverage. At the refreshment corner now. Corn dogs.
Show starts in 8 minutes.
Today we're interviewing a stomach.
Hello there.
What is life like as a stomach?
Oh, boy, it was humdrum. I mean, until what's-his-name discovered Tony's Pizza.
Tony's Pizza?
Yeah, I was suffering from the pizza cravings until Tony's came along. Crispy crust and zesty sauces. Wow.
And so now... What's that?
Another pizza craving. Just thinking about Tony sets it off.
Oh, where are you going?
He's going to get a Tony's Pizza, and I'd follow him anywhere.
Does your stomach send you pizza craving signals? Oh, wow. Tony's, the Pizza Craver's Pizza. Available at the concession stand.
Show starts in 7 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now.
Show starts in 6 minutes.
Men, there's a drive-in movie full of juicy people. Wow! It's a trap! Help! It's Pick! We've had it, men.
A pleasant aroma for you, but not for mosquitoes. Pick is easy to use. Light it and forget it. Pick's aroma keeps mosquitoes, gnats, and sandflies away. Pick is the best protection for barbecues, fishing and camping trips, or just relaxing in the yard.
So if you don't want our company ever anywhere, just light Pick and see what I mean? Bye!
Pick is on sale at the refreshment stand now. Show starts in 5 minutes.
A cup of whipped hot chocolate tastes great right now. Carnation's Cocoa Supreme, the delicious hot chocolate drink with the light, delicate flavor you like. Wouldn't a good hot cup taste good right now? Ask for a cup of whipped hot chocolate at our snack bar.
Show starts in 4 minutes. Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go! Show starts in 3 minutes.
Popcorn, candy, ooh, hot dog, popsicle. Oh boy, Santa orange.
Show starts in 2 minutes.
Now listen, now listen, now listen. I'm the Dairy Queen, won't you come with me along the milkshake way? I've got lots of good surprises, fresh and yummy for you every day. There are malts and shakes and sundaes too, whenever you stop. And of course your very, very favorite, the cone with the curl on top.
You don't have to just dream about Dairy Queen. Your favorite Dairy Queen treat is a refreshing reality at your nearest Dairy Queen store.
Show starts in 1 minute.
For our patrons, men, women, boys, girls. Through the cooperation of leading business places, you may now have free admission to this theater. Ask for dividend tickets when you shop at Names of merchants who give dividend tickets are listed in the lobby of the theater and on circulars at the concession stand. Dividend tickets will be accepted on all standard box office priced films. So take a circular with you today and start saving dividend tickets tomorrow when you shop. See your next movie completely free.
And now, on with the show.
Gentlemen, we're in 3000 BC.
To reach this lost civilization, science had followed a trail through burning desert sands, through the roaring avalanches of Mount Kuitara, and finally deep into the bowels of the earth. Not even history had recorded the existence of this unknown empire of darkness.
There is no world beyond ours.
If I ever get out of here, into my world,
the world of light and flowers,
will you come with me?
Never before had outsiders beheld such sights. The sacred ritual of the sun death, the blazing sacrificial chambers, the court of the all-powerful high priest of Ishtar.
You will die in the fire of Ishtar.
The blood-lusting mole people storming from their subterranean caverns.
I was given an ancient map of an undiscovered city that was filled with vast treasure of gold and jewels.
you're rough, huh?
4 men have gone missing.
Where?
In Egypt.
Ratfink and Boo Boo, masked men dedicated to fight crime and preserve justice.
Look, Boo Boo, young lady in distress.
Won't somebody help me?
Me first, Ratfink.
Go, Boo Boo. I'll park the rat-sickle.
Oh, take that, Mr. Crook.
Oh!
Why not fight someone your own size, fella?
Ah! Help me! Won't somebody please help me?
The Ratfink will. Ape, drop that girl.
You hurt me, you big ape!
Take that, Ape.
Ratfink and Boo Boo, the leaders of today, building the leaders of tomorrow.
And I want all you young people to grow up to be good American citizens. Remember, your country needs you.
Ratfink, you're the greatest!
Ratfink and Boo Boo are coming!
Each June, a caravan of buses unloaded jittery teens at the ghostly edge of Lake Wapato, where swirling mist tangled in ancient pines and the scent of moss mixed with distant campfire smoke. Deep in the Pacific Northwest's wild heart, campers swapped cell phones for stories, city grime for lake water, and bravado for secrets whispered in the dark. The lake's mirrored surface promised both adventure and unease, while the forest's looming hush made every shadow feel like a dare. Here, summer camp was a crucible, forged from old fears and new friendships. 16-year-old Jamie McNeil arrived at Camp Evergreen with a mix of trepidation and reluctant curiosity. His belongings limited to a sleeping bag, a backpack stuffed with a collection of 80s cassettes, the likes of The Cure, Depeche Mode, and the Smiths providing a moody soundtrack to his summer, and a bundle of nerves that tightened with each step away from the familiar and into the unknown. He'd been sent by parents desperate for their son to trade neon-lit arcades for the values of oars, cabins, and bear-proof snack lookers. The camp was all canoes and creaky screen doors, with bunkhouses perched crookedly under the tall pines. Mornings began with counselors banging pots, the air sharp with dew, and the lakeshore echoing with the scrape of paddles and shouts of kids plunging into the frigid water. Jamie wasn't sure he belonged. He found easy friendship only with Sarah Shaw, a sharp-witted girl with wild, curly hair and a fondness for comic books. She saw something kindred in Jamie, an outsider, carrying his awkwardness like a badge. On the first week, an eerie tension threaded the blue dusk. Talk of strange cries in the woods, a big black dog glimpsed beyond the mess hall. That first Friday, the counsellors took everyone out past the boathouse for s'mores and scary stories, the night thick with the scent of toasted marshmallow and cedar smoke. As sparks drifted upward, one of the older boys, Tyler, his voice dramatic and low, leaned close, flashlight pressed to his chin, and started in.
They say before Camp Evergreen had cabins or canoes, it was just a wild stretch of woods beside the lake and a single ramshackle dock. One summer in 1956, 2 siblings, Anna and Peter McAuley, disappeared after sneaking down for a midnight swim. The counselors, half asleep, only heard the echo of laughter, then a single terrified scream that broke the stillness like falling glass. The next morning, the dock was shattered and claw marks, long and deep, scored the planks and muddy shoreline. Search parties combed the water, finding nothing except clumps of Anna's yellow ribbons tangled in reeds. No sign of Peter except the smeared handprints on the underside of the dock. Locals whispered the lake coaxed them under and hid them in the dark, cold depths. But that wasn't the worst of it. That autumn, a fisherman saw small, pale faces just beneath the surface, eyes open, mouths stretched wide in a silent wail. Some say, on humid nights, if you stand alone at the water's edge, you'll hear Anna giggling just before a freezing hand grabs her ankle and pulls you in. Others swear that sometimes, in the fog, a boy's silhouette can be seen pacing the pier, waiting for his sister to return. They say Camp Evergreen was built to keep the lake happy, offering up laughter, stories, and the occasional midnight swimmer to keep its secret hungry.
Tyler let his voice trail off as the fire flickered low and the woods pressed close. For a long moment, nobody dared look at the lake, where the mist curled like pale fingers over the water's skin. Jamie shrugged it off, attributing the stories to homesick bravado. But everything changed the night of the first full moon. Caught between restlessness and a fierce, inarticulate rage, Jamie slipped from his bunk. The ancient woods called to Jamie like a half-remembered melody, luring him from the safety of his bunk. Moonlight slithered between fir branches, pooling over thick mats of moss, until the world gleamed both gilded and glacial. Each step softened his fears and sharpened his senses, the air tasting wild and electric. In that strange threshold between shadow and gold, the forest felt alive, watchful, secretive, its secrets bristling with possibility, as if anything might slip from the darkness and claim the night for its own. The fever rose like wildfire, searing through Jamie's veins until his skin felt stretched too tight. He collapsed onto the mossy earth, gasping, as his fingernails blackened, curling into hooked claws. Bones cracked and shifted beneath his skin with sickening inevitability, joints wrenching into new shapes while something ancient and feral awakened beneath the boy's freckles. Shadows flickered, swallowing his scream. In the moonlight, Jamie's silhouette warped, no longer fully human, yet not wholly beast, caught in the agonizing crucible of transformation. Memories of that night became smeared by hunger, splintered images of a chase, screams weaving through branches, blood bright on pool toys and pier boards. When dawn broke, Jamie's hands trembled as he read the camp's bulletin. One of the counsellors, Mark, always first in the lake at reveille, was missing. No one could explain the slashes on the dock, or the tufts, of course, dark fur. Guilt gnawed at Jamie's insides, acid and relentless. He couldn't scrub away the visions of that first full moon, the flash of Mark's pale, terrified face, the way his fingers scrabbled desperately at the splintering dock. Jamie could still feel the sickening crunch of bone beneath his jaws, taste the hot copper spill of blood on his tongue. He reached into the bushes, disgusted with himself, with the monster he'd become. The second death hit closer to home, a cabin mate, torn apart near the archery range. Janie had woken that morning with blood under his nails and the taste of death in his throat. He couldn't meet Sarah's eyes, couldn't bear the weight of her concern or the dark bloom of suspicion he saw growing there. He was a murderer, a beast. The truth of it echoed in his bones, in the twisting snarl of his guts. He tried to remember the feeling of sunlight on his skin, the simple joy of a lazy afternoon by the lake, but all he could see was the moon, hanging fat and full above the tree line, mocking him with its cold silver light. Jamie knew he should turn himself in, confess to the horrors he'd committed, but fear kept him silent, and the desperate, shameful hope that maybe, somehow, he could still be saved. He clung to that hope, even as the bodies piled up and the camp descended into terror. Even as the monster inside him grew stronger, howling for blood. Days drifted in sunlit normalcy, volleyball in the sand, sullen games of Uno, awkward dances at the rec hall. But each night, Janie fought the change each full moon. Another camper vanished in a blur of snarls and howls. Fear hollowed out the one's rollicking camp. Kids whispered, wide-eyed, about the lake creature. Only Sarah stayed close, offering him her steady friendship and bad jokes, trusting him even as the disappearances mounted. At first, the missing campers were written off as pranksters, their empty bunks explained away with stories of midnight dares and secret crossings to the far shore. Counsellors chalked up laughter echoing from across the water to harmless mischief. The whole camp agreed this was just the latest in a long tradition of elaborate games. It never occurred to anyone that the truth prowled so much nearer, watching, waiting for the moon to rise. Sarah, with her endless curiosity, began to suspect the pattern, vanishings in time with the moon, Jamie's shadowed eyes. Sarah had always been drawn to the darker corners of campfire legends, the whispered stories of moonlit carnage and hikers vanishing without a trace. She remembered tales of other camps, scattered across decades and state lines, where similar cycles of violence had played out. In the 1920s, Camp Silver Birch became a site of terror when the groundskeeper was discovered brutally savaged in the woodshed, his lifeless body encircled by massive paw prints. The savage killing sent shockwaves through the camp, forever etching the tale into the annals of local folklore. Rumours swirled about a monstrous creature stalking the woods, its eyes glinting with a predatory hunger. The camp was shuttered, leaving behind a legacy of fear and the lingering question of what sinister force had invaded that tranquil summer retreat. In the 1950s, Camp Pinewood became the site of a grisly massacre that would haunt the woods for generations. An entire bunk of campers was found torn to ribbons, their lifeless bodies scattered across the blood-soaked forest floor. The counsellor, the lone survivor, was discovered catatonic with fear, his eyes wide and unseeing. Through trembling lips, he raved about a monstrous wolf, its silhouette towering as tall as a man, its eyes glinting with a predatory hunger. The beast had descended upon the unsuspecting campers, its razor-sharp claws rending flesh and bone with terrifying ease, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable carnage. And then there was the eerie case of Camp Whitley, shuttered since the 1960s, after a series of grisly attacks left the grounds littered with half-eaten corpses and the lake stained red with blood. The few survivors spoke of yellow eyes gleaming in the darkness, of fangs and fur and a monstrous silhouette loping through the woods. The legend began in the summer of 1847, at a remote logging camp deep in the Pacific Northwest. 3 lumberjacks and 2 women had set up a makeshift campsite by the edge of a shimmering lake, the towering pines casting long shadows across the water. The days were long and grueling, filled with the constant bite of saws and the crash of falling timber. But at night, when the moon rose high and the campfire burned low, the loggers would gather around the flames and swap stories of the strange things they'd seen in the woods. There were tales of enormous paw prints found by the shore, of eerie howls echoing through the trees. Some claimed to have glimpsed a pair of glowing eyes watching from the darkness, or caught the scent of something rank and feral on the wind. But they all dismissed the stories as mere campfire tales, until the night of the full moon. The loggers had just settled down to sleep when a blood-curdling scream ripped through the stillness. In an instant, the campsite erupted into chaos, tents shredded, axes and saws flying, and the snarls of some massive beast echoing through the night. By dawn, the camp was in ruins. The bodies of the 5 campers were found scattered across the blood-soaked ground, their flesh torn to ribbons by enormous claws. And looming over them, still dripping with gore, was the hulking form of a creature that could only be described as a werewolf. From that night on, the legend of the logging camp massacre spread like wildfire through the region. Travellers gave the area a wide berth, whispering of the lumberjack's curse and the vengeful spirit of the werewolf that stalked the woods. As the years passed, the tale took on a life of its own, inspiring countless retellings and fueling the nightmares of generations. But those who dared to venture too close to the abandoned campsite would swear they could still hear the echoes of snarls and screams, carried on the wind beneath the cold, unblinking gaze of the full moon. As Sarah pored over these stories, puzzling out the patterns, weighing the evidence against the folklore, she couldn't shake the feeling that something similar had come to Camp Evergreen. Something vicious and primal, cloaked in the guise of a boy she'd begun to call a friend. She thought of Jamie's shadowed eyes, the way his hand shook as he stared out at the lake. She thought of the claw marks marring the dock, the tufts of coarse fur snagged on splintered wood. Most of all, she thought of the full moon and the way its light seemed to call to Jamie, tugging at the core of him like a puppet on a string. Jamie and Sarah often found themselves drawn to each other, their conversations an oasis amidst the chaos of camp life. They bonded over mixtapes and comic books, swapping stories about life back home and the challenges of growing up in the 80s.
Sometimes I feel like I'm from another planet,
Jamie admitted one afternoon, as they sat together on the dock, their feet dangling in the cool lake water.
We hope that you are enjoying your night at the drive-in and our presentation of this audio story. Let's go ahead and break for some messages, and then we're going to play vintage intermission ads before resuming our story.
Good evening. It's intermission.
We'll see you soon.
Our service is friendly and quick. You'll find hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, your favorite candies, hot and cold beverages, and other delicious snacks. So add to your fun of watching the movie. Visit our refreshment stand right now. We're glad to have you with us tonight. We hope you'll come to see us often. It's great to get out to the movies. We're just 3 minutes away from the start of our next feature. Still time to visit our refreshment stand.
It's 2 minutes till showtime.
All aboard the snack bar special for Coca-Cola, peanuts, hot dogs, ice cream, candy. That's the snack bar special for Coca-Cola, peanuts, hot
Whatever your choice from the snack bar, things go better with Coke.
We're now just 1 minute away from the beginning of our next feature. For your convenience, our refreshment stand will remain open after the feature begins, so you still have time to add to the fun of watching the movie. Before we begin our next feature, we'd like to remind you to replace your speaker before leaving the theater. If it is accidentally damaged, please notify someone at the refreshment stand. Again, thank you for coming out to the drive-in tonight. As you leave, please drive carefully and come back soon.
Back to UAN Radio and the Underground Artists Network's presentation of Night at the Drive-In. Let's go ahead and continue our audio presentation.
Like everyone else got some handbook for how to fit in, but I was out sick that day.
Sarah laughed softly.
I know what you mean. It's like there's this script we're all supposed to follow, but I don't want to be just another extra in the movie of someone else's life.
They talked about the pressures of conformity, the fear of nuclear annihilation, the allure of punk rock and new wave. But as the days passed, Jamie found his thoughts increasingly consumed by the looming full moon. One evening, as the sun began to set and the shadows grew long, Jamie and Sarah sat together on the steps of their cabin, their conversation turning to the future.
Do you ever think about what comes next? After camp? After high school? After all of this?
Sarah asked Jamie as he shrugged his shoulders and looked into the distance.
Sometimes, but it's hard to imagine a future when the present feels so fragile.
As if on cue, the moon began to rise above the tree line, fat and full and pulsing with silver light. Jamie's breath caught in his throat, and he stumbled to his feet, mumbling an excuse about needing to be alone. Sarah watched him go, her heart aching with a confusion she couldn't name. She wanted to call after him, to tell him that he wasn't alone, but something held her back, a flicker of fear in her gut. The next day, Jamie was distant, his eyes shadowed and his smiles rare. Sarah tried to draw him out, but their conversations felt stilted, forced. And each night, as the full moon rose, Jamie would vanish into the woods, leaving Sarah alone with her questions and her doubts. Sarah and Jamie sat together one last time, perched on the edge of the dock as the sun began to set. They talked about the challenges they'd faced, the friendships they'd forged, the memories they'd made.
Do you think we'll ever see each other again, after we leave this place?
Sarah asked, her voice small. Jamie hesitated, his eyes on the horizon, then he finally said,
I don't know, but I hope. I really hope so.
He broke off abruptly, his body tense and shivering. Sarah followed his gaze to the rising moon and understood.
Go. I'll be here when you get back.
She whispered, her heart breaking. But as Jamie vanished into the shadows, Sarah knew that nothing would ever be the same again. As the night air filled with snarls and screams, she knew that their friendship, like the summer itself, had come to a sudden, savage end. Sarah knew the truth of it before she could admit it to herself. She knew, deep down, what she would have to do when the moon rose full and round again, and the night came alive with snarls and screams. On that final, blood-soaked night, Sarah ventured into the moonlit woods, a hidden silver knife clutched in her trembling hand. She'd found it in the first aid room, tucked away behind boxes of gauze and antiseptic, and doused it in gasoline. She followed Jamie's trail, her heart pounding in her ears. She found him deep in the forest, his body contorting as he transformed into the werewolf. His spine arched, his limbs elongated, and his face twisted into a snarling muzzle. Sarah crept up behind him, her breath catching in her throat. She raised the knife, her hand shaking, and plunged it into his heart. Jamie howled in pain, his body convulsing. As he transformed back into his human form, he turned to face Sarah, his eyes wide with shock and pain.
Thank you. I love you, Sarah. I always have, and always will. You freed me in every way possible.
He whispered, his voice fading. Suddenly, a rabid animal lunged out of the shadows, its teeth bared and its eyes glinting with madness. Jamie threw himself in front of Sarah, using his dying body as a shield.
Run! Get out of here, Sarah.
He yelled, his voice cracking with pain. Sarah hesitated, torn between her love for Jamie and her fear of the rabid animal. But as the creature mauled Jamie's body, she turned and ran, her heart breaking with every step. As she stumbled back to camp, Sarah's mind raced with doubts. Had Jamie really been the killer, or had it been the rabid animal all along? She shook her head, pushing the thoughts away. It didn't matter now. Jamie was gone, and the camp was no longer safe. She found the head counselors huddled in the main office, their faces pale with fear. She told them about Jamie, about the rabid animal. They made the decision to close the camp immediately. As the Canthers packed their bags and boarded the buses, Sarah stood alone by the lake, watching the sun rise over the water. She knew she would never forget the summer she had spent at Camp Evergreen, or the boy she had loved and lost. But as she turned to leave, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still out there, lurking in the shadows of the forest. Something that would never be caught or killed, something that would always be a part of her. She shivered, pulling her hoodie tighter around her shoulders. She knew she would never be the same after this summer, but she also knew that she would survive. She had to. For Jamie, and for herself. Camp Evergreen shut its gates forever that year. Sarah never forgot Jamie, her summer friend and final secret. Sometimes, when the full moon hangs over the vast lake, she dreams of the boy who never quite fit in, and the wolf he became under the great green canopy of the Northwest Wild.
Listening to Night at the Drive-In, presented by UAN Radio and the Underground Artists Network. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to us at undergroundartistsnetwork@outlook.com. Until the next time, this is your host CJ, thanking you for listening and wishing you a good and pleasant night.
Please sing me a song. I'm gonna turn a ring. Hey there, Ma. Hey there, Pop. Pile in the car. Let's make a stop. The stars are out. The screen is bright. Let's go to the drive-in tonight. Please grab your blanket and your favorite seat. Kick off your shoes. Relax your feet. Cartoon start. The kids all cheer. Family fun is waiting here. Hot dog sizzling and sodas pop. Milkshakes thick and lollipops. From tots to teens and mom and dad. It's the best old time we've ever had. Under the moon in our own little row. Snuggled up close while the picture shows. The snack bar's calling, don't be late. We'll meet you there at intermission. Hey, drive on in, the show's about to start. With popcorn, dreams, and a happy heart. From dust to stars and silver light. Let's go to the drive-in tonight. The light, two, please sing me a song. I'm gonna turn a ring. Hey there, Ma. Hey there, Pop. Pile in the car. Let's make a stop. The stars are out. The screen is bright. Let's go to the drive-in tonight. Please grab your blanket and your favorite seat. Kick off your shoes. Relax your feet. Cartoon start. The kids all cheer. Family fun is waiting here. Hot dogs sizzling and sodas pop. Milkshakes thick and lollipops. From tots to teens and mom and dad. It's the best old time we've ever had. Under the moon in our own little row. Snuggled up close while the picture shows. The snack bar